Thank you very much, guys. And it's quite interesting how you guys ended there. If OG would have played it better, it would have gone better. What we heard here was they got away with murder. That was what you guys said about this game.
Yeah, I think Origen individually make a ton of mistakes in this game. Bot lane, you know, this 2v2s we saw where Soaz goes down. He then, right after, starts to clearing out a pink ward next to a wall with zero vision in the river, gets ganked again and dies. Sven got hit by 2 bindings in mid lane and dies. Like, I felt like the composition from Elements was super risky because they would lose the split push 1v1, and also they had no engage at all in the mid 4v4, so they relied on like landing the random binding from Ica, but they managed to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why they got a lead in the mid game, which honestly should never have happened.
The weirdest thing was this to me is one of the first games we've seen Origen this split work without Niels, or Sven, sorry. And it wasn't because they formed a comp around anything else. It was that he kept dying in fights, like again and again and again. And it just made it so difficult. And Elements got this really good lead before Origen were ready to fight. Origen had a very definitive point where it's like, oh, well, we've got a poke mid laner that needs to get his tier. We've got a poke bottom lane that needs to get to his 2 items or his Sork boots as well. Like, Elements should have been able to carry that lead a little bit harder, but the problem is they just ended up doing nothing in mid lane. They were just sat there waiting. Paraveal would throw it, and it didn't really do too much.
That was at the end, though. Let's first take a look at one of the team fights pulse, in which it was still going really good for Elements, and as you say, Origen getting caught out.
Yeah, this is time and time again, Sven not being in the right position. You'll see him flash here, and he just expects his front line to block it. Oh, actually just hits Sven, and then from here, he just can't run away. And Stress, you were talking about the fact that Sven should be this backbone, and he's just not here.
Not only that, but with this composition, like, Sven should never be in a situation where you have a Poppy coming towards you like that. There should be enough disengage there to stop Poppy getting through the backline. Just miscommunication. Amazing used his ultimate already. Mithy wasn't there to block. The binding went through the team fight, and Sven dies. Shouldn't happen, but it does.
However, the next replay we're going to show, there was some very good play from the members of Origen there. In specific, amazing on that Gragas is what you guys highlighted. And this effectively gets them back in the game, and in the end will help winning it as well.
This is what you were so hyped for, Stress. the Gragas young, and well, it is super strong in teammates. I think this is okay from Origen. They're trying to catch up Gillies very quickly. They blow Janna ulti, and Gillies is technically out of the fight by now. So despite Sven and Power Weaver getting zoned out, Sven again ends up dying. It is now an option for Origen to have Fiora come in, and Fiora's hit her late game where nobody likes her, and she's going so strong. And then also the Alistar Gragas combo in teamfights is going to be super, super powerful.
Man, that body slam right there with the follow-up to kill the target to proc the heal may very well have been the tipping point that Origen were just like, this game is ours now. Because from there, it seemed like Elements reverted back. They didn't want to try and fight. They didn't want to try and catch.
But you couldn't. I mean,
and that's what
Morgana as you engage.
Exactly, because they drafted a comp that against this disengage is so difficult to try and get any kind of engage off possible, and they couldn't control Soaz in the end of it either. That was just the weirdest thing.
I mean, sure, it was the turning point, but is that still a win? Because it was all on that team fight. In the early game they lost, the composition fell apart, and they won because of that and managed to snowball from that Baron and had a great Baron play. But I don't know if it was still a win.
I mean, a win is a win.
A win is a win. On the scoreboard, yes.
Obviously, and I dare even say for Elements, obviously, this is one of those games where they could have gotten the upper hand in the head-to-head going into that 6th place possibly, and they kind of threw it away, or it was taken away from them. What do we take from it for the side of Origen?
I think it fits the standings in the sense that the top 6 teams, yes, sometimes they make mistakes, but then they can consistently make plays to get them back in the game, and the bottom 4 teams struggle to close out games, and that's why we have a situation like this where Elements technically were doing well, but then end up having some misplaced or a wrong team fight and lose.
Yep, and OG getting the upper hand in that one. We're 1 game in, but there are more must-win matches ahead with Roccat versus Splice coming your way in just a few minutes. We'll see you back here right after this.
You should sing something, and then you get into the video.
No, they never put me in the video, so I stopped singing now.
Because your voice is so ugly, or?
Repel up, and Soaz has taken so much damage. The riposte blocks a lot, but it will not block enough to save his life.
That's good, that's good.
Let's go! The Cocoon just falls short, but Steve is teleported in. He's held Sven against the wall, and that's a killing spree for Steve. Steve's not done yet. Mr. Oz flashes away. He's being run down by Soaz. Soaz tries to get the grand challenge. Will heal up shortly.
We don't see anyone. Everyone off the mid lane.
I have him!
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Slowly, 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 slowly.
Rotate to mid lane if you can.
Run back if you can, run back if you can.
Soaz TPs, this game is over. They're taking a risky fight here because Elements will get Baron.
Instead, Soaz is looking for the Nexus. A flash over the wall, Baron secured by Elements. Soaz simply doesn't care. And Soaz steals the Nexus.